Some of the craziest miracle moments can alter NFL history forever.
Lays it up for Freeman, and it's incomplete. Or did he make the catch at the 15? Yes. What are they going to rule it? He caught it? Touchdown!
It is where legends are born. Today, we revisit some of the most miraculous moments in NFL history. Now, this is the first Patriots mention, and it won't be the last on this list, but this one was undoubtedly the most heartbreaking for New Englanders. In one of the ultimate David and Goliath matchups in sports history, the 18-0 Patriots were one defensive stop away from completing a perfect season, but David Tyree had other plans. Giants quarterback Eli Manning evaded multiple pass rushers and heaved a 32-yard pass downfield. Tyree controlled the ball by pinning it against his helmet, even with Patriots safety Rodney Harrison all over him.
Stays on his feet, airs it out down the field. It is caught by Tyree.
The Giants then went on to score 4 plays later, giving them a 17-14 win over New England in their pursuit to perfection, and producing one of the biggest Super Bowl upsets in NFL history. Super Bowl 43 between the Arizona Cardinals and Pittsburgh Steelers was one of the greatest Super Bowls of all time. It was the absolute perfect narrative of an underrated Cardinals team that was led by Kurt Warner, who was thought to be washed up, and Larry Fitzgerald, who had put on an absolute clinic that postseason. I mean, I don't even know which miracle moment to start with. It also featured a 100-yard interception return for a touchdown that absolutely changed this game.
Harrison still on his feet. Harrison is going to go all the way and waiting for the official to get there. Touchdown is signaled.
And I mean, even after going back and watching all of the film, it still makes me sick just to see that the Cardinals lost the Super Bowl in such a heartbreaking fashion. I mean, even on the 100-yard interception, Larry Fitzgerald could have tackled James Harrison had he not ran into his own teammate that was standing in the wrong part of the sideline.
And if Antrell Roll wouldn't get in my way, I might have a ring.
But nothing beats Santonio Holmes' amazing catch to win the game for the Steelers. And I mean, in my opinion, I don't really know if he got both feet down. I don't think he did, but down by 4, the Steelers and Big Ben put together a perfect drive to end the game with one of the most insane game-winning catches of all time. The refs ended up ruling it a touchdown and completely changed the history forever. But this next one absolutely proves just how good prime Aaron Rodgers was. The Packers had entered the game having lost 4 of their previous 5 games after starting the season 6-0, and were seeking a win to keep pace in a close division race with the Minnesota Vikings. You see, the Lions came into the game following 3 consecutive victories, following a 1-7 start to the season, and needed a win to keep their slim playoff hopes alive. And the craziest part is that just 18 days earlier, the Lions had ended a 24-year winless streak at Packers Lambeau Field with an 18-16 victory. And if the team could secure a victory in the team's second meeting, the Lions would achieve their first season sweep of rival Packers since 1991. I mean, at the beginning, the Lions looked very strong, scoring on their first 3 possessions while holding the Packers to only 29 yards of offense to take a 17-0 lead. But in the second quarter, both offenses struggled to generate offense, and the Packers entered halftime facing a 17-0 deficit. And following a field goal after halftime on the opening drive of the second half, they would take a 20-0 lead. But just as I said before, prime Aaron Rodgers would then show up. The Packers would answer by scoring 14 points in just under 90 seconds to cut the lead to 20-14. And after trading scores, a field goal for the Lions and a touchdown for the Packers to bring the score to 23-21 in favor of Detroit as the game reached its final seconds. On a desperation play after 1 forward pass and 1 backward pass, Packers tight end Richard Rodgers II lateraled the ball to quarterback Aaron Rodgers, who was quickly tackled at his 24-yard line by Detroit Lions defender Devin Taylor. And everything looked fine. The game clock struck 0 during the play, and it looked like the Lions had secured their first sweep of the Packers since 1991. But there was a flag on the play. And because NFL rules state that games cannot end on a defensive penalty, the Packers were given an untimed play at their own 39-yard line. And the rest is history. After the snap, all Packers receivers ran towards the end zone, and Aaron Rodgers broke to his left in order to buy time for his receivers to reach the end zone before changing direction and scrambling to his right. Rodgers then threw a 61-yard Hail Mary pass into the end zone. Tight end Richard Rodgers II, who was the last player to reach the end zone, leapt high in front of all defenders, caught the ball at full extension, suspension and came down nearly unchallenged for the catch, resulting in the Packers winning 27-3 in walk-off fashion. And according to numbers of estimations, Aaron Rodgers' pass traveled 66 to 68 yards in the air before reaching the hands of Richard Rodgers. I mean, hell, this throw was literally so high, it nearly hit the rafters at Ford Field. But as memorable as that one is for Packers, Raiders fans are going to want to forget this next one for as long as possible. The Patriots led 24-17 in the closing minutes before a controversial touchdown was upheld for the Raiders to tie the game. Mac Jones and the Patriots just had 32 seconds to try and score, and New England got onto its own 45-yard line with 3 seconds left before handing the ball off to Ramondre Stevens. Instead of going down and regrouping for overtime, the Patriots decided to play the lateral game. Stevenson tossed it to Jacoby Myers, who then threw it backwards, but to the wrong team. His lateral was caught by Chandler Jones, but took it 48 yards the other way to score.
It's picked off! Oh no! Unbelievable! Oh wow! Incredible! Chandler Jones takes it in and wins the game for the Raiders!
I mean, like, what a boneheaded way to lose a game. But this next one, though, is just downright sad. Was it the NBC microphones or the silence at Soldier Field? Whatever it was, the double doink was deafening the viewers at home. After the Eagles took a 16-15 lead over the Bears with 56 seconds to play, Chicago quarterback Mitchell Trubisky, yes, you heard that right, Mitch Trubisky, moved his team down the field quickly and was able to set up a 43-yard field goal attempt with just 10 seconds left. And as the team lined up to kick it, Cody Parker's practice of hitting the uprights was then on full display.
And he hits the upright again.
NBC broadcaster Chris Collinsworth quickly dubbed the play as the double doink.
Oh my goodness. The Bears season's going to end on a double doink. Unbelievable.
And would forever haunt the Bears to this day. But that wasn't the first time special teams had cost a team a big win. The miracle at the New Meadowlands was an improbable come-from-behind win by the Philadelphia Eagles over the New York Giants at New Meadowlands Stadium on December 19, 2010. And just to put this all in context, the game was a crucial one in the context of the season, played between two division rivals in Week 15 of the 2010 NFL season. With just over 8 minutes to play in the fourth quarter, the Eagles trailed the Giants by 21 points. But Michael Vick and the boys went on to score 4 unanswered touchdowns in the final 7 minutes and 28 seconds of play, including one of the most electric plays any football fan has seen to this day.
Jackson bobbles it and now has to try and recover. Deshaun Jackson gets a block! Are you kidding? Deshaun Jackson still not in, and now in for the touchdown, no flags.
Jackson became the first player in NFL history to win a game by scoring on a punt return as time expired. The win allowed the Eagles to progress to the 2010 NFL playoffs by head-to-head tiebreaker over the Giants, where they lost to eventual Super Bowl champion Green Bay Packers. And because they lost that game, the Giants ended up not making the playoffs despite achieving a 10-6 record, losing the wild card spot to the Packers, a team they'd lose to the very next week. And I mean, as shocking as it was to punt the ball inbounds to Deshaun Jackson, one of the most electric returners of all time, this next one is just plain stupid. And also surprisingly at the same time, pretty legendary for all the wrong reasons, because no one saw this one coming. Mostly because nobody knew who Malcolm Butler was before this play. Down 28-24, the Seahawks were driving in the final minutes with a chance to win their second straight Super Bowl. After an improbable catch by Jermaine Kearse that Butler was unable to break up, the undrafted rookie made the play of his life at the goal line. Russell Wilson tried to hit Lockett on a slant for the game winner, but Butler jumped the route to intercept the pass and clinch the Patriots' 4th Super Bowl. I mean, Pete Carroll got absolutely roasted for this call.
And he's calling out the play. What's going through your mind?
Shit, to be honest, I look at 9 of the other guys, and they look at me like, what the fuck just happened?
instead of logically trying to punch the ball in with a run, which would likely be a simple matter on the account of known bruiser Marshawn Lynch, who was one of Seattle's best runners and in the NFL at the time was an amazing running back too. Instead though, it was a genius idea to have Russell Wilson drop back, making a short throw towards the goal line. Like, what a genius play call. Allowing the ball to get intercepted, securing the Super Bowl victory for the Patriots, and creating one of the best twist endings in NFL history. And just when you thought there weren't any cooler Hail Marys, this next one is just insane. Coming into the game, Arizona was 5-3 and in second place in the tightly contested NFC West. Meanwhile, Buffalo was first in the AFC East at 7-2, their closest competition being the then 5-3 Miami Dolphins. And at the time, the Cardinals came into this game as 2.5-point favorites. The Bills led the game 23-9 at one point in the third quarter, but allowed Arizona to score 2 touchdowns and kick a field goal to make the score 26-23 with just 34 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. And after a touchdown pass to Stephon Diggs to regain the lead for Buffalo, the ensuing Bills kickoff resulted in a touchback, setting up the Cardinals at their 25-yard line. And honestly, at the time, Murray looked like a competent quarterback. He put together a nice little drive to get the Cardinals to the 43-yard line after a 9-yard pickup by the legendary Larry Fitzgerald. After a Buffalo timeout, Arizona lined up in trips right with just 11 seconds left in regulation. After the snap, the play looked kind of crazy. I mean, they just had DeAndre Hopkins running a go route to the end zone, while the other receivers, including Larry Fitzgerald and Andy Isabella, ran varying levels of crossing routes across the field. But Murray took the snap and rolled to his left, evading a potential sack by Bills defensive end Mario Addison. And as he was attempting to scramble forward, Bills defensive linemen Ed Oliver and Quentin Jefferson ran towards Murray in an attempt to make a tackle. With no other choice, Murray threw the ball towards the end zone. The ball traveled towards the back of the end zone and only one red jersey was in sight. Bills safety Jordan Poyer and cornerback Tre'Davious White tried to stop him catching the ball by approaching him from the side in front to disrupt the play. But somehow, some way, the ball went into Hopkins' hands and he managed to catch it above White and Poyer. And I mean, even despite safety Micah Hyde trying to knock it out, Hopkins managed to maintain possession of the ball in the end zone, resulting in a 43-yard game-winning touchdown for the Cardinals, sending the Red Sea to absolute mayhem, etching his name and Cardinals into miracle history. And if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure you guys check out this video about the 10 things about Christian McCaffrey and how he even directed his own movie, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.